the Honorable Minister of Works, His Excellency Senator Engineer Mweze David Umahi CON, has expressed that despite the skyrocketed cost of materials in the construction industry caused by the dynamics of commodity price inflation and supply chain disruptions, the administration of His Excellency President Asuwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR has remained unmatched in prudence, cost-effectiveness, speedy and quality delivery of road projects. He made this comment during his inspection visit to the ongoing rehabilitation of Enugu-Port Harcourt dual carriageway Section 4 Aba Port Harcourt, handled by China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation Limited (CCECC) on 8th of April 2024. The Honorable Minister, who also visited the construction of a 23-span flyover bridge project at Ekobinagu Junction NNPC depot along Enugu-Abakaliki Road, Enugu State, handled by Reinforced Global Resources Limited. The rehabilitation work at the collapsed bridge site at the new Artisan Bridge near NNPC Mega Filling Station, Enugu Capital City, handled by CCECC. The rehabilitation of Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressway Section 3, Enugu-Lopanta, handled by CGC. The rehabilitation and reconstruction of Enugu-Port Harcourt Dual Carriageway Section 2, Umuahia Tower, Aba Township Railroad in Abia State, handled by the Arab contractors. And the reconstruction of the dualized 15-kilometer section of the East-West Railroad Section 3, Eleme Junction to Nene Port in Rivers State, being executed on reinforced concrete pavement like the Coastal Road, handled by RCC. Said that the administration of President Asuwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu is committed to a diversified and sustainable economic future of Nigeria, and this he is doing in the work sector through aggressive infrastructure development that will provide access to trade, tourism, industrialization, and safety, especially along the local economic corridors. While reacting to a statement credited to the former Vice President of Nigeria, His Excellency Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, on the 700-kilometer coastal road project, the Honorable Minister described the analysis he made on the coastal road project figures and the economic importance of the all-important coastal highway project as a gross misrepresentation of facts and figures and a ploy to mislead Nigerians by darkening counsel without knowledge. The Honorable Minister, who later flawed in different television live interviews the 7-point misleading claims credited to His Excellency Atiku Abubakar, blamed his point of view on his inability to understand figures and his failure to appreciate the commendable core values of prudence, probity, and accountability, which the renewed Hope administration of His Excellency President Asuwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu is known for. He said, and I quote, "The President has once queried me on the cost of ongoing projects nationwide. I had to analyze every basic rate of construction materials to arrive at our unit rates. I showed it to Mr. President. He still thinks I should bring down the cost of projects. At the same time, the contractors are crying that I am oppressing them so much by reviewing the cost of their project downwards. They lamented that what they were getting before, they are no longer getting now."
The President had once worried me on cost of a project, and I had to run the figures with Mr. President.
Yes, they were going to compare the cross-section of the one he mentioned that was renegotiated for 11.1 billion US dollars, for 700 kilometers.
Which came down from what?
It says 12.8 that they got 800. So let's use 11.1 billion, to do a calculation. And so you have to now ask what was there to be constructed. And what was there to be constructed is the only available design we have is from NDDC. They had designed the entire 700 kilometers. We are not following exactly that, the right of way. We have a different, modification. And what is it that they have? They have, 2 carriageway, in each 2 carriageway, in each, side of the road. Now, the coastal road we are constructing has a total of 10 lanes. not only that has a total of 10 lanes, it also has, what we call shoulders. And the total shoulders is about 23. So when you put the total concrete pavement we are doing is about 59. When you put the total, flexible pavement that you quoted, it's about 23 meters. From my design has 10 lanes and a total pavement of 59.2 meters. And the other corridor is 52 meters. My corridor is 100 meters. And out of this 100 meters, you have 5 lanes on left side, 5 lanes on the right side. And then you have 25 meters for train track. Now, our train is not starting at 0, I'm at Bello, because we reduced the corridor, there. And even up to the landmark, we still reduced to 50 meters. Our design, has a duct 7.63 meters. Additionally, I didn't calculate it here. If you use, 23 meters, you divide it by 11.55, the standard gauge for a superhighway. Then you get that this design is 2.225 multiple, superhighways. Now, in my design, I have my, my own to be 5.167, which means that in every cross section, you have a standard, highway of 11.55, to be 5.167. Is that correct? Yeah. Now, if you divide, 700 kilometers, if you divide this 11.11, by, 700 kilometers, you get 19.1 billion per kilometer. And this kilometer is, 2.22, multiples of standard gauge. Yeah. Is that okay? Yeah. Now, when you now divide this 19 point by this multiple gauge, you get 8.59 billion per kilometer. My number is, a total of 59, meters width, in terms of, the total pavement. My own is 1.067, trillion. If you divide it by 47.47, are you with me?
Yeah. Yes.
Now, you will have, the cost, but you will now multiply the cost by 5.167.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
My multiple standard gauge is 5.167. Is that correct? Yeah. And then you will now have 4.329 billion per kilometer of standard gauge. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Is that correct? That this coastal road design, and procurement has been there by NDDC, for years. They have their study. I have that book, it's quite very bulky. They have their study, they have their design done over the years. Even though we did not follow exactly, that design, but we had to study the design and then to take information from that to compare with the design we have from the CPC plus F. The way this runs, the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road is 700 kilometers, and that is phase 1. And then you have a phase 2, which has spur. We are presently, trying to do the Badagry-Sokoto road, the Badagry-Sokoto road, and this coastal road has a spur to that. The coastal road also at the Calabar, axis, also has a, a spur on the Enugu, Abakaliki, Ogoja, to Cameroon. It's a trans-Saharan African trade route. It has a spur there.
On the economic importance of the coastal highway, he stated, and I quote, "It is not just tying south-south and southwest. It is tying the north and south together. We are starting a project from Badagry to Sokoto, and we have a spur on this coastal route to that route, and the African Trans-Sahara Road that is passing from Enugu to Abakaliki to Goja to Cameroon, which has a spur to the north."
I will tell you the economic benefit and how this coastal road is tying the entire country together. It's not just south-south and southwest. It's tying the north together. And starting a project from Badagry to Sokoto. And we have a spur of this coastal route to that. The African Trans-Sahara route that is passing from Enugu to Abakaliki to Goja to Cameroon, there is a spur also on that. So you can see how wisdom has taken center stage in the execution and midwifing of the coastal route.
The Honorable Minister commended the pace and quality of work on the projects he visited, but harped on the need for the contractors to heed the project delivery timeline. On the progress of work at the East-West Road, Section 3, he said, and I quote, "The reinforcement is very good, the concrete is very good, the speed is not very good. So they have to increase the speed. If RCC doesn't increase their pace, I will take out a portion of the road and give it to another contractor. We will not want contractors to stay on a job like this 15-kilometer dualization for 2 years or more." End of quote.
I can say that the concrete pavement is going on very well. If there are some observation, we've made it to the contractor RCC, but we are happy with what they are doing. The reinforcement is very good. The concrete is very good. The speed is not very good. The speed is not very good. So they have to increase their speed. And some people may say they are not using concrete paver. We don't need concrete paver. We just need the pump they are using to do even distribution of the concrete. They need to vibrate it very well, and their top finishing is also very good. So this is excellently been done. If they don't increase the pace, I will take out a portion of this road and give to another contractor. That is what we are doing. We would not want contractor to stay on a job like this 15 kilometer by 30 kilometer, even though it's a very specialized kind of construction.
Signed by Honorable Barrister Oji Uchenna Oji, Special Advisor Media to the Honorable Minister of Works.